Warning, this podcast has stories of real-life events and true crime that happens every day. These stories may contain adult language and graphic or disturbing details not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised.
132 in Bush, I've got him at gunpoint.
They're pulling them out.
911. Advise ready for camp.
Welcome to another episode of War Stories. I'm Chuck.
I am not Tom.
For all you guys
Marco.
listening,
I'm Fuzzy.
it's Marco. Or watching, you guys can see that Tom is not here today. Tom has some personal things going on. And we're doing a debrief this week, so Marco is going to step in anyways and to help us out with this. And now he's here. So, yeah, without further ado, Marco, everyone.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for coming on and doing this with us. And I think it's going to be good.
I hope so. I feel like the B team. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you called the bullpen. You went deep in the roster of the bullpen and be like, we got the old salty veteran, the lefty. Fuck it. Send his old ass to the mound. Let's see what happens.
Let's close this shit out.
Let's see if we can close it down. We got a half an inning left. Let's see if we can close this down.
It's like Eastbound and Down. Let's bring in fucking.
Fuck yeah,
fucking,
dude.
what's his name, dude?
I got one left. I got one good one left in the barrel, Skipper.
Everyone, this is La Flama Blanca. That's funny. No, but we were gonna have him on anyways, because it brings a really good dynamic to this, and it's a dynamic that we don't get to see because you have two cops who are talking about a debrief, and we give our side and take, trying to think about what the regular everyday citizen who has no background in law enforcement would think, and we're trying to ask those or answer those questions that we're trying to think in our head. But it's kind of like it's not we're not gonna answer all those questions because we don't have that. We have more knowledge and stuff like that than someone who's just watching this and be like, oh, that doesn't look good, or I have questions. And it's great to have that other side on here because then we can answer them better. So Tom just couldn't make it because he has family stuff, and family is more important. You know what I mean?
Family is key.
Yeah. So this will be good. So today, Marco, I have brought you 5 videos.
Oof, exciting.
Yeah. So 2 of which have been making the rounds on the internet pretty frequently this last week. And so I thought that we would start with those. But before we start, I just want to say, hey, how's it going over there in Texas?
We're storming. We're in middle weather patterns. We had a hell of a lightning storm last night come through. Some crazy winds. A bunch of tree limbs got knocked over in my neighborhood. It's hot. It's muggy. It's Texas.
Ooh, are you in tornado like area?
No, we're just south of it.
Oh, good.
Not just south, but we're pretty good. We're pretty good south of it. Yeah, we're pretty good south. So it's very rare. Like we've had a couple of small twister. We've had a couple small little like twisters come through around our area. Like I live in the very, very southern part of Austin, like just outside of the town. And we had one touchdown last year. Famously, the one where the kid was like in that F-150 or the 1500, and he was like in the middle of it, and like it picked up his truck, turned it sideways, and then kind of spun him. That happened in the north. That happened in the north side of Austin. So like 30, I'll say maybe like 25, 30 miles from me.
Right.
So nothing too crazy, but nevertheless far enough away.
And I mean, the crazy thing in the past 3 years, you guys have had some crazy weather systems come in, like record-breaking snow and all this stuff. Do you think? Yeah. And then there had been guys like, was it Crispy? Fucking, he's an influencer, but he's a Army veteran.
Right.
I think it's like 11 Bravo, Crispy 11 Bravo or something like that. I'm fucking totally butchering his handle, but he was talking about, because he lives out in Texas and stuff like that. And he was like, when that crazy weather storm came in, it was like everyone was freezing. You had a homeless person freeze outside, and it was like massive snow banks and shit. And he grabbed the snow and lit it on fire, and it was like fucking burning. like, do you think that a lot of these nests, this is not really war stories, but I just curious because you
It's
live
okay.
out there.
It's
Do you
okay.
think that is there's some crazy weather seeding going on?
I
Maybe
mean,
some
it wouldn't
artificial
be. I mean,
stuff?
it's like some or Agent Orange. You know what I'm saying? Like Vietnam shit. I mean, it's been it's been tested and proven before that they will fuck with us. So, I mean, the storm, that crazy ass storm where people froze over. I was here. That was my second winter here. I want to say it was my second
Right.
winter here. I remember looking at my wife and I'm like, sweet mother of white people land, where the fuck did you take my, South American ass?
Right.
I was ill prepared.
Well, you moved to Texas,
Um,
you're like, it's gonna be hot, full of cowboys, and you're like, it's fucking
yeah,
freezing
I
and
was like,
cold and
I'm
snow.
gonna walk around with a 10-gallon hand and a fucking smoke wagon on my hip. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but then that hit. But so I've talked to people, and they talk about flurries and how it comes in twos and every year. But that storm, I guess, is like a 1 in 80 year storm. So it has, so that storm, there has been records of a storm like that where it's froze over this part of Texas for a week or so. It's not the first time it's happened, and it happens once like every 80 years or something. That's what I heard. And then it fluctuates. Like, for example, so they were like even the Farmer's Almanac was saying that this last winter we were supposed to have another 2-week freeze over. Like, and it was supposed to, like, the last freeze over that we had was 5 days. It was 4 days actually, and then 5 days started thawing out, and the 5th day started thawing out. They were saying that this last Christmas we were supposed to have a 2-week freeze over. Like, it was supposed to be just winter wonderland for 2 weeks and be prepared for the worst, right? So everyone started stocking up slowly, which is better than last time, and then nothing happened. Like nothing. We had 1 day of mild slush. Like, there was a whole bunch of people out there like joking around, like, this is Snowmageddon, 2024. And they had a ruler up in the corner trying to find like a little bit of ice, and they're like measuring that. It's like, it's still at a good 1/16 of an inch.
That's fucking
and holding. So yeah, it's crazy out here. People say if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. And it changes all the time. Like, we'll have a warning, like hail warning in the next 30 minutes, and it's all boop, never mind, it's moved. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I can say like the crazy shit. I was just curious about that whole, like, what's your thoughts on it? Because I was like, when I started seeing the weather seeding and shit, I was like, that's fucking crazy, But I know it's happened. I know we hold U.S. patents on it, or patents on it. I mean, look at Dubai. They fucking.
I was gonna say, look at Dubai.
Flood their whole town.
I was like, hey, we're gonna do this because we're Dubai and we do crazy shit and we get away with it because we have enough money to throw at it. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, we fucking flooded the fucking city. Oops.
Right. We were trying to get some lakes here, and it fucked up and flooded our Bugattis and our Lamborghinis and our Ferraris. But we hit some crazy weather when I was in North Carolina, and I want to say 2010, and it was 2009 and 10. We had fucking tornadoes in 2000. I think it was 2010. We had 3 tornadoes within 2 weeks of one another, and we were in an area where it's normally where you get hurricanes, not tornadoes. So we don't have a basement there because you can't dig into the ground because of how saturated it gets with water. And literally fucking tornado ripped through everywhere where I lived and hit base housing, hit all this stuff. And then we had fucking hurricanes.
Wow.
Leading up to it, we had 2 hurricanes. And then we had that summer, we had all of the fucking tornadoes, and it was wild. And I was like, this is crazy. And it was some of the most deadliest tornadoes like that had been around that were hitting Arkansas. It was hitting fucking
that's crazy.
All like the crazy areas, where Tornado Alley normally hits and stuff. And they said it was like kind of like how you said, where you had that that once in a lifetime, like once in 80 years snow
event.
This was like another like once in 80 years, 1 in 100 years weather systems, like tornadoes and shit, because it's not typical for that area. But okay, so we got into that a little bit, a little tinfoil hat segment. There we go.
Little tinfoil weather seeding shit. Yeah. I will say this: not a lot of basements here because you're talking about ground. We're on clay and limestone. So there's this, bro, it's real rough. Like digging the playscape down, I wound up like just making it wider and heavier, so I wouldn't have to try to dig anymore because it was not going to happen.
Right.
So there's there's like boulders and rocks right underneath the fucking topsoil here. So yeah,
that's crazy. That's some hard pan soil. Man, it's rough. That's like dynamite if you need to get that shit, that hole dug.
There
You're drilling holes and throwing dynamite down.
Bro, there's a lime quarry about 1.5 miles from my house, maybe 2 miles from my house that you can kind of see off at night. And it's like, yeah, they blast out there certain areas and dig it all out and chunk it all out. And whenever they do new developments and start leveling land out here, you see them haul off just boulders and boulders and boulders towards that quarry. To have it broken down. Yeah.
Wow.
It's common out here.
That's nuts. That's
it's still awesome.
Really crazy soil.
It's still beautiful. Still fucking green as hell out here though, in comparison to brown ass beautiful San Fernando Valley.
Ugh.
Yeah, it is nice and green and lush out here.
That's awesome. And you'd think I drove through Texas one time and there was zero green. It was dry as fuck and it was towards the top of the panhandle and it was just nasty weather. And I was like,
oh, well, we're also in river country here. Colorado like runs right to the middle of the city. Right. So there's nothing but creeks and rivers all around us. And yeah, it stays green pretty damn well throughout the entire year.
I think I'm this close to getting my wife to move to Texas, dude.
Bro, I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight out. If you were to bring her here to Austin, it's kind of easy because the price of the houses is what it was in LA maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago.
So super affordable.
Yeah, so like mentality wise, you're like, oh yeah, they're like when we wanted to first buy a house, that's what the prices were. So it kind of takes you back to that nostalgia of first wanting to look at houses, as far as price was concerned. And then you realize then you realize for example, my kid's school is rated like a 7.
Ooh,
like
that's
6
good.
3/4. Yeah. So like
I'm used to like the 3s and the 4s out here, dude.
Yeah, so that's where we were at. We were in not a private, but like a specialty school for my son in like the Woodland Hills area, and it was like a 3.5. And the public, and that's like the specialty program. And then because he's on the spectrum and not here, I was like, okay, yeah, the standard fucking elementary school in my area is a 6 3/4. So it's almost a 7.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's not bad living. You got trade beaches for the river, and river life out here is on and cracking like all the time. People go in the wall all the time, and there's Lake Travis is not far from here at all, and it's fucking huge.
That's awesome.
So
man, I hope like I can talk her in. I keep sending her the stuff, so maybe she'll bite on it, and she's like, "Oh, those houses are nice." I'm like, "We just gotta move."
I think it's one of those. I think it'll be one of those situations where, in all honesty, if you guys can make a trip, if you guys are able to come out or go wherever you're thinking about, moving. I'm not saying here like coming to Austin, Chuck, but if you were to come out with a family and take you guys like tubing and take you guys, going outside and really get a sense of the city. Mm-hmm. That's what happened to us. We came out here to visit her brother and sister, and Austin had been on my radar anyways because I'm an artist, and it's very art and technology forward. So I was like, okay, cool. Like this is definitely on my radar anyways. We came out here to visit her brother, and that was it. I was like, okay, oh shit, man, this is nice. This is cool. I could see us easily doing this, and
yeah, absolutely. That's what I got to do. I'm gonna do that. We were planning Houston, DFW, and then Austin to hit all the major 3 to see where we want to settle. But okay, so this first video, this one that's been making the rounds, we're gonna watch it, and I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you're gonna tell me.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
By the way, I have not seen these before, so listeners, and this is just my reaction. Okay. We're outside of a 7-Eleven. Why are we blurred? Is that a chick? That's a hilarious outfit.
So basically, this woman's arrested. I'll give you a little backstory. This woman gets arrested. And this cop is taking her to jail.
Okay.
And this happens in San Diego.
Okay.
I believe it's San Diego. It's a little bit hard to see because it's an Instagram video. That's where he pulls some of his videos. But yeah, so it's an Instagram video. And but yeah, so give it a watch and let me know what you think at the end.
Sounds good.
You're not. Well, I can't hear you now.
What?
Don't say that right now. I said don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now. What's going on?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay.
So for everyone who's not watching this,
Oh, wow.
The woman was saying like, I'm down to fuck right now.
I'm DTF.
And officers saying, no, don't say that. Everything's being recorded. Short while later, he pulls down a street, turns off his body worn camera, and his GPS shows him parking, sitting idle for a little bit over 10 minutes.
Sorry.
He calls then another officer to get him out of the back seat because he is now locked in the back seat with the female arrestee. Wonder what happened. So because you guys couldn't hear it, and it was just subtitles. That's basically what was going on. She has been propositioning him for sex, and he then turns off his body worn, parks on a street, down the street from the detention center for San Diego PD, and then asks for help. So let's keep watching.
2:37 a.m. Another officer arrives at the scene. Officer's walking up. Flashlight goes on. Light. Oh, is that steamy? Is it steamy?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Opens up the passenger side.
That's them sex windows, dude.
Really? Oh, hey, buddy, close the door. You
Fuck, dude. Look how steamy those are.
Step out of the vehicle for me.
How do you explain that, dude?
What code for? Okay, hold on. Let me turn my camera off.
He just said, turn my camera off?
Okay. Hey, let me turn this off real quick.
Because you're going to talk to him about what happened.
What the?
So basically, that's the end of the video. But what happens is the officer in question resigned shortly thereafter.
Yeah, of course he did.
So what do you think happened? There's a lot of people accusing him of having sex with this female in the back seat. And I mean, I'll tell you what I think as soon as you tell me what you think.
I think he took her up on her fucking offer.
Do you think it's appropriate for an officer to be doing that?
Of course not.
Pulling over and hop in the back seat?
Of course not. I mean, if he was smart about it, he'd be like, I'll just reduce your charge to a ticket and release you if I can get your number later. You know what I'm saying? But like
that's still even a violation, dude.
I'm just saying if you're gonna go this far, plus like, yo, she looked kind of busted, bro.
I mean, I really couldn't see, but she got them thick ass Latina legs, bro.
Bro, he fucking wristed off of the torta.
He did, dude, because he knows that they're some of the fucking best in the biz.
Look,
I'm telling you, dude.
But I mean, like, talk about
he risked it all.
I mean, talk about a series of bad judgments. So, like, you got to know, like, he knows that there's GPS in the car. He knows he's being tracked. He just thinks like he's just gonna turn off.
Dumbest things.
He's gonna turn off the body cam and just saying. And why? Okay, here's a question: why are cops allowed to like? And here's a cop. You were obviously an officer. Did you wear a body? You wear a body cam?
Yeah, dude. We had digital in-car video. We had down at the back of the suspect.
Well, I know that. Well, those have been around for a while, but the actual like the body, like the body cameras. I mean, we
had 3 cameras
rolling. They're still rolling them out to all departments. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not all departments have them. I mean across the country.
Okay, so let me just give you a background on most policies for body-worn camera, especially in Southern California. Okay, so Southern California, anytime you're transporting an arrestee, a female, you have to start with, if you're a male officer, regardless of the transport you put on your mobile digital computer in car, you have to enter in the starting mileage and the ending mileage. This is for specifically for sexual beefs when it has an opposing gender. So the same thing
Sure.
with females transporting males. They have to put in their mileage, so starting and ending, so that they know, hey, these are all the routes you take. This is how long the mileage is. If you deviate and go like fucking crazy amount,
you mean down a fucking? You mean down a residential area?
That was more important. Yeah, that was more important to adjudicate things when we didn't have GPS in the cars. Now, every vehicle has GPS in the cars, especially in Southern California.
Sure.
Now, your policy shall state or should state all cameras turned on, whether it be one facing the rear for the suspect.
Right.
You have to have that on. So if you have a camera that's over the suspect, it shall be turned on if you have it. And most every single fucking policy, especially when you're transporting an arrestee. If you're not transporting an arrestee, obviously you don't turn it on.
Can we FOIA request that right now? I'm just saying. Inquiring minds want to know.
Dude, I bet you his fucking department's like, what the fuck, dude?
I bet you he's like,
fuck that bitch. No, and let me just, like, any officer should know, you hop in the back seat, it automatically locks. There is a double lock that you can push, but because there has been some things where people and arrestees, it used to be in the old Crown Vics, you could sit inside and the doors would unlock and you could get in and out from the back seat. So we would have this thing on the double lock. So you open the driver or passenger side door, and inside that little well, you would push in this little device, this little button, or you'd pull it out to unlock it. So you'd push it in to lock it and double lock the doors. And so basically that means that even if you're inside, you can't, if the car is not locked, you can't fucking unlock it because the double lock's there. It's like a child lock, right? So that has to be pushed in. Every once in a while, people have forgotten it, things like that. But, it's there. But with the new vehicles, it doesn't matter. They lock anyways. But that's still a safety precaution that you have to do. It's redundancy set in so that they can mitigate the people falling out of the vehicle. So it's
that makes sense.
Reduces liability, right? So he should have known getting in the back seat would lock it, but his thinking with his pee-pee instead of his fucking
the other head
up here, the other head, and gets in the back seat. I don't see a scenario where this dude was just, he probably got in with bad intentions, but if he didn't do it, he fucked up and was like, fuck, what do I do? But 10 minutes, dude, you were
10 minutes.
You did something. You either let her
got a blowjob
or you touched her. Yeah, probably.
Hey, listen.
Probably what it was.
And let's be real about this. Those are those hard ass plastic seats right there, man. That shit ain't comfortable. You know what I'm saying? What do you think you're gonna be doing back there?
No, bro. That shit's uncomfortable as fuck.
Those molded ass fucking plastic seats in the back. That's not good. This isn't like grandpa's old fucking Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? With the old crown.
Dude, staff is all back there, bro.
Oh, bro.
Just imagine his little penis, dude.
How
probably burns when he pees now.
Oh my god, he's definitely got something. So especially but wouldn't he have he fucked up her case though, right? Obviously, they're gonna get it.
She's gonna definitely squeal.
Well, of course. I mean, she doesn't have to squeal at this point in time. You know, saying the shit's out there, but she's gonna say that that he fucked her. I mean, he could say that, but it's on video. At least it's on video that she propositioned him. So, the whole rape thing is going to be out the window. But, as far as like treatment, transportation of someone who's a detainee, I'm sure that's going to fuck up her case for whatever the fuck she got popped for in the beginning.
And he resigned because that was a fireable offense. You cannot do that.
Of course.
It is unprofessional. It opens the department up for liability. And now you're opening yourself up for civil liability because she's going to come and sue you like a smart person would. You know what I mean? Like,
they're going to go right after that qualified immunity. And interesting.
You're going to be fucked. Well, you quit. So you don't have any qualified immunity if she goes after you civilly now.
I hope it was good. I hope it was good.
Don't risk it all. Look, either he did or he didn't. We didn't get to see the action, but it was fishy for him getting in. He fucked his policy up. He was completely wrong.
He fucked her.
Of course he did. Fuck
if I was one of the 12, I'm like, I look at the other 11, I'd be like, he fucked her. We all know.
So
that, right? 10 minutes, he fucked her.
I heard.
I'll be like, how? Okay, here. So the car parks for 10 minutes. How long between the car parks and he calls out for a second unit? That's my question. Because it feels like he was there for 2 minutes or a minute, and then he calls for another unit. You know what I'm saying? It's possible he went in there like with ill intentions, but then changing minds, didn't do anything. Which obviously is still at that point you're saving face and you're quitting. Yeah. But at least you're saving face by quitting at that point in time.
Right.
and maybe like
Right.
you quit the department, but you don't cock block yourself for being rehired in a different department. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no, that fucked him.
I'm
He's
sure
done.
it did. I'm
He's
sure it
never
did.
gonna
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
was
there
trying-
might be one small agency that's like, fuck it, we'll throw it out. Who cares? I doubt it. But I've seen shit happen where people like they get fired
Mhm.
from an agency and they still get hired and picked up by another agency. It just took them fucking 5 years, but they did it.
Oh, I've seen videos. I've seen videos where people like pull the FOIA the jacket of an officer. And they go back and like, oh, he was fired for this in this agency, and then literally the next county over picked him up. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been fired and they got the county sued, and then like the next county over picked him up. So
holy shit, that's crazy. Well, the funny thing is that I've actually worked during a situation where something like this has happened. And the broadcasted over, dude. The sheriff sergeant was working at he was working at Universal Studios. Okay. And Universal Studios in California famously has a bar right out in front that has a bull and everything on it. So there's a lot of like tail walking around. Well, it was late at night, and I guess I don't know if it was his wife, his girlfriend, or his fucking side piece.
Chuck, dude. Chuck, I ate shit off that bull so bad one night.
Did you really?
I went over the head. You know what I'm saying? You know the head of it? My fat ass went fucking Humpty Dumpty style over like legs.
I've never been on it.
Really?
Never been on it. Yeah. I've been there. I just never been on it.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Anyways.
So this was before they had like cameras and shit. Mm-hmm. Except he still had his radio on. And as he's doing the deed, the fucking radio keyed.
No, dude.
Because his radio was turned down. So his okay. So when you're in a vehicle, you turn down your rover, your
on the one on your hip.
On the one on your hip remote.
Sure.
You're basically your walkie-talkie. You turn that down, and you have the radio on your car. Well, if you're keying, the radio on your car goes silent, and you can't hear any of your voices, right?
Gotcha.
So he basically that happened, and his shit got keyed. And so you were hearing like bits and pieces of like, oh yeah, dude. And we're all like,
no,
fuck, dude. Yeah. And it was so bad. I don't know what happened.
But how can you tell who it was? Unless he like, you know what I'm saying?
Because when you key your radio, the radio is assigned to you. You sign up through the vehicle that this is my radio on my hip. This is my car radio. So if it get keyed and something happens, you're like, fuck, I'm in a fight. Fuck, I need help. They can pull up the GPS of where your vehicle is.
Okay. That was my question.
They know who's keying the mic. It takes them a second, but they know what officer is keying the mic.
Yeah, man.
It was assigned to you. Yeah, so it fucked him. But that was funny to hear. Okay, so we got that one out of the way. This is the second video. I'm gonna add this to the stage.
So lesson is don't hop in the backseat with a torta.
Yeah, exactly. Don't risk your fucking shit for the biscuit when it's not even that good, and you can go to the bar and pick something way nicer up for half of the fucking issues.
Wait until your shift is over.
Yeah, exactly. No on duty booty. You get you fired.
No on duty booty. Got it.
Right. So this next one is basically in lockup. Guys in a wheelchair.
So this is like after transport, right? Is that what I'm seeing here?
They're going into the jail.
Okay, yeah.
Or something is going on. I don't know why. Suspect's not really handcuffed. I don't know why. And this copper is bending down, which you should never do with an unhandcuffed suspect in front of them.
Looks like
in a wheelchair,
maybe, or something. Yeah, and he like putting the feet up or something. Dude, looks like
those motherfuckers can still fight. They can still.
I'm sure. I'm just.
This is complacency at its best. Complacency kills, and this is what happens. And complacency takes the best. And so this guy is dealing with them. And what happens next? We'll talk through it after it's done. So watch it, and then we'll
play the video
for people who aren't watching. So here we go.
All right, so cops went over. The guy reaches. Is he reaching for his gun?
Yep.
He's reaching for his piece. He's reaching for a piece.
Yep.
Looks like he can use his legs pretty well. Oh, that's he's in a bad position. Oh, he got his gun.
Sorry for the music. Let me turn that shit down.
This guy looks okay. The officer looks like a sheriff or something. Looks like he's all he got his gun.
He just hides and he's like cowering over.
Okay, so his leg is fucked up. He got the gun. Like, is this motherfucker drunk? Oh, the other officer came through.
And it looks like he got shot or something. So basically what happens is this big tubby officer is leaning over him, and
this guy is old,
by the way.
He's not just a heavy set officer. you can tell that this guy has been in the force maybe 20 plus years. He's an older guy. He's an older guy. What's up? Oh man, this is some hard miles, man. That's been rode hard and put away wet. But no, you can see the gray.
Dude, he has his fucking cuffs in his cargo pocket. This suspect should be handcuffed. Okay, those handcuffs should be on him. And if your handcuffs are not in your case and not on the suspect, they're not on the suspect. They should be in your case, not hanging in your fucking cargo pocket. That's one issue. He's leaning over in front of the suspect, regardless of the wheelchair or not. He's leaning over in front. Okay, and then he goes for his gun, and it takes this cop probably a good few seconds to cap his gun, and still doesn't fight through it, and basically gives up.
He gives up
the gun. He gives up and cowers and puts his hands over his face. He gives up. Yeah. Another deputy comes through. I'm assuming it's a deputy, and looks like he shoots. We can't tell.
I don't think he did. I think his leg is. I think this guy's leg is fucked. No, because there's no. If you play it again real quick. I don't know if you can mute it, but if you play it again, I don't know if you can play it and mute it. Okay, look. So obviously this guy's got problems with that leg, right? And look. He's not able to look right now. He's not even able to put weight on it. You see that? Like that leg is fucked up.
Right.
And the other guy comes in. He tries to like aim at the other guy, and he's like, "Oh no, yeah, I'm caught." So he tosses it away. But look, there's no blood or anything like that. Dude. I don't see it. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. But
look right here. So look right here. We'll try to go frame by frame. So you see him. He gets thrown. The big officer throws him off. Right. He
throws him off to the back. Yeah.
Right. And then he's on the ground. Still has the gun. He had already pointed at the other deputy once.
Yeah.
And then you see him. Something happens right here.
Yeah.
But it's like he got hurt.
I think. Well, go back, and I think he realizes that the other officer, because like the other officers are here already on top of him. Go back a little bit, couple more frames. Go back. When he goes kind of over, when he tries to stand up, look, see where he looks and he points.
Yeah,
I think he sees the other officer coming in, and he goes, "Oh shit!" He tries to stand up to try to kind of get a beat on him, do whatever, because the natural thing is to kind of like bring the gun up and stand up and basically position yourself,
I don't know,
and I think. His leg was busted and he fucking rolled over, and then the other cop was already inside and coming up on him. So I don't think he got shot. I mean, does
something happen because
if he deserved to get shot? I'm like, I won't say he deserves to get shot, but could he have gotten shot? Yes. The other officer could have came in, could have popped him. It would have been justified, 100%, 100% justified. So, and as a civilian looking at this. He could have been shot, and I wouldn't have convicted him. I'm like, no, bro, you kind of deserve that one. And and fucking Large Marge over there needs to be retired. I'm just saying.
Okay, so that was my question. Do you think he should still be on the force?
No. I don't think so. I'm not going to talk about the whole cowering. I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm going to talk about like the complacency, and with his age, the slowness of his movement, not being able to fight off. If you go through this video, there's a lot of things like, and you got to look at it as like, is this officer trainable? Are we going to get this officer to like, are we going to get this officer to like, honestly get down? Like, and I don't seem like I'm talking shit, but can we get 40, 50 pounds off this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like make him more like,
I don't think that would even change anything. If you were to get this guy to lose 100 fucking pounds, take training seriously, like maybe get into some athletic classes. However, it's the mindset that kills, because I know a lot of big officers that will fuck you up and they will fight you to the death. They might be fat as fuck, but they have a warrior mindset, and that's what it is. And he doesn't have a warrior mindset. And my guess, and if I was a betting man, I would bet that this guy has been working in the jails for such a long time. He has allowed complacency to fucking get the best of him, because he has had 0 incidents for such a long period of time. People don't really fuck with me. I deal with the old people that did this and that. And he's just like, it is what it is. Like da da da. He doesn't. He doesn't have that heightened sense anymore. And I guarantee you, the reason why he's working in the jails is because he didn't want to do it on the streets. At least that's what I see in this. I'll straight up say it. You should retire. If this was one of my officers, I'd be like, you're fucking done, bro. Like, you need to go work admin, because you can't even do this shit. Like this, all these were preventable training techniques that you could have prevented this incident if you just had your head on straight.
He's lucky that the guy's first instinct was not to pop him in the head, because he had the opportunity to. Been dead. And not when he was cowering. When he first wrestled and the cop was on top and he already had the gun, you can see his hand was completely clear. The suspect, the perp's hand an arm was completely free to bring it around and pop him in the back of the head. This is a very, very scary situation. I'm glad that obviously we don't know about the suspect. You know, there's speculation whether he was shot or not by the other officer coming in.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know, whatever the case is this could have ended a lot. This could have ended a lot worse for both parties, and especially for the officer. And I mean,
and let me tell you, dude.
Whew, if I was that's scary, bro. I would retire if that happened to me. I'd be like,
for sure,
I'm done. And obviously, I'm a civilian. I've never worked this job. I don't know how hard it is to work this job. I don't know what it's like to get towards the end and be like, all right, cool. I started late in my career, so I'm this far away from the full pension. Like I'm not. I don't know any of that. I don't know any of that. You know, I'm just saying, like, from what I saw, that's not good for me, bro. It would be an ending. I'd be like, I have no business. I almost died tonight. I gotta take this as my last life as a cat and just go spend time with my grandbabies. And you know what I'm saying? Just like, it's time to get that boat. Time to buy that retirement boat.
Yeah, and you know, and it's sad to say like this about a fellow cop, like, but there are cops who get into this business or in this job, this career field, and they do it for all the fucking wrong reasons. They do it for the medical, the dental, pension, all these things. However, the first thing that should be doing it for is should be doing it to protect those who cannot protect themselves and put away those who do evil upon those. Right? That's the biggest thing. You need to be a protector.
The sheepdog.
And yeah, exactly. To keep those at bay, to keep the fucking order from order to chaos. So you have to ride that fucking line and keep it. Right. So I think that this guy should not be in law enforcement anymore. I think he should retire. And this isn't a hit on cops. Like, this isn't like, I know the last two were just like, fuck, but these have been going around. And, you know, like I always say, and Tom always says, there's nothing we don't like more than a cop who, you know, uses his badge to do shitty things. And that was the first video, right? He uses it to either get money or drugs or sex or whatever. That's not what we're doing. Abusing suspects. We don't like dirty cops, right? And trying to fuck a female arrestee on duty, that's not good. Now, and we go to the second video, and it's still not a hit on good working law enforcement, because that's not what we're here to do. And I'll tell you, I'll be the first one. I will always want to take the officer's side because I'm a cop, you know, like I know how hard this job is. It's a very difficult and strenuous job. It's very mentally taxing. We have to make split-second decisions within seconds, fucking seconds. And then it's dissected through video for hours upon hours upon hours for our split-second decision. Right. But there were so many critical fucking mistakes from the start to the end of that video. It's apparent that you don't honor this job enough to get your head fucking on straight when you're dealing with suspects. I don't care if he's in a fucking wheelchair or not. And that was one of the biggest things in the academy. If you had a guy in a wheelchair, and what would you do? Would you fucking treat him this and that, blah, blah, blah? And most of the people were like, nah, you know, he's in a fucking wheelchair. Like, what can he do? Like, he's got no fucking legs. Like, and next thing you know, he's like, well, you're fucking dead because he produced a gun and shot you in the fucking head. You have to treat everybody as that's being arrested as a threat, right? In some form or way. I'm not saying everyone's a deadly threat. I'm just saying you should have a plan to kill everyone you meet, fucking Mad Dog Mattis. But not just that, you should have this heightened sense of ability, or this heightened sense to know that people you're arresting are there for a fucking reason. And just because they're in a wheelchair does not mean they're not a bad person. It doesn't mean they won't try to get the jump on you. Okay. I've had plenty of those instances where people are in fucking wheelchairs, but they play coy. They can still stand up. Like, you can't, just because they're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can't handcuff them. It doesn't mean you can't fucking search them. If you have to lay them on the ground and do a sideways search with them laying on the ground in recovery position to search them because they can't use their legs, that's what you need to do. And I've seen where suspects were transported in wheelchairs. They weren't fucking handcuffed and they weren't searched. And I've had to fucking take over that body. And I'm like, this is all fucked up. And I'm finding fucking dope. I'm finding fucking money. I'm finding weapons in this dude's pocket. And he was just sitting there unhooked. And I'm like, I get there and I hook him straight up and I fucking search him. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So you can't let the complacency get you in the end, because that could have ended with this dude's life fucking gone. And what are you going to tell your family? If you have a wife, what are you going to tell your wife? If you have kids, what are you going to tell your kids?
And potentially the next person coming in.
Exactly. Or if you get your partner fucking killed.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. He could have popped off, you know, the guy he was rolling around with, or He could have covered himself as the next person's coming in. You know, so struggle. The next
Right.
cop is coming in, and he gets a shot off at that cop, and then you.
Yeah, and you open yourself up to liability. You open your
That's
partner
crazy.
up to fucking death. You open yourself up to death for just fucking up. Like that dude should have been handcuffed. You know, you never should have leaned over in front of him. Especially regardless if he's handcuffed or not, you shouldn't have been leaning over in front of him. If you do, you have a secondary officer there kind of holding his chest so he can't come forward and bite you in the fucking ear or in the face, right? There are things that should have been done and prevented to prevent what happened. And if for still some reason he's able to slip his cuffs and grab your gun, you need to have the wherewithal to cap it immediately, fucking turn, fucking hit him in the face, grab whatever you have, fucking your baton, smack him in the fucking head, your flashlight, smack him in the face, cap your shit to get him off of you. And I'll be the first one to tell you, like, running through the academy, I was used as someone we run this technique where you run around and then you fight and you try to grab the officer's gun. Well, they used me because I had such a good endurance and I didn't get tired and I could grab their gun. And every incident led to me shooting the officer. But you learn, that's how you learn. You learn against it, and then you'd run through it again, and they would cap their shit, and then we'd fight through it, and then I got shot a couple times. So it's a very deadly situation where if the person wants to kill you and they get a hold of your gun, they're going to fucking kill you. That's why you have different weapon retentions on your holsters, and that's why you get trained to cap, and you pull over and you pull your backup out and you shoot them, or you grab whatever impact weapon and you fucking start hitting them so you can gain some distance and some space so that you can pull out and be like, you come at me one more fucking time, I'm going to shoot you, and they come at you and you shoot them.
Are you allowed to carry? Y'all are allowed to carry a knife, like a pocket knife, like a utility knife.
So I've had I had a knife in my pocket, and then I had one behind my mag pouches that was basically a one-sided fucking shank.
Yeah.
No, you can carry them
like a straight blade.
You have to, but you have to be within policy. So you can't carry in a dirk or dagger. So I had to make sure that what I bought was not a dirk or dagger, or can be considered one. It was carried in a sheath, and then or a folding blade. If your city only allows you to carry a 3.5-inch blade, that's only you can carry. If your city allows you to carry a 4-inch blade, you can carry a 4-inch blade. But yeah, you can carry those things as long as it doesn't impede your area's laws or your your agency's policy.
Yeah.
So this guy fucked up, and he should find a new job. So that's that. And so now we have this one. I'm going to add this to the stage. I'm going to have you watch it. Watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to preface it for everyone who's not watching. Okay, they go to do a door knock. Guy takes off running and jumps through some shit. And ultimately, there's a taser that gets deployed, and shit happens. We'll talk about it after. Let's watch it.
Yeah. All right.
Put your hands up! Oh shit! He's on the back window! He jumped out the back! He jumped out the back!
You just jumped through the fucking window? Good God.
Damn, she's surprised. Running.
You're gonna take us right here. Don't move! Don't fucking move!
What's the policy on cursing? We'll talk about that later. Oh, he closed the door.
Tactical language.
You know where to go!
Damn. Oh, he got another window? Damn.
Fucking crazy.
He committed. He went head first, too.
Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be laughing, too.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the incident, and what are your thoughts on the tasing? So basically what happened, for everyone who's not listening, is they go to get the suspect. He takes off running through a second-story apartment, jumps out the fucking window, takes off running, runs into an adjacent apartment, runs up the second flight of stairs. He's in the breezeway. There's a window right there. Officer tases him, and then he decides, as he's getting tased, I'm going to fucking hit this window right here, and ends up falling out of the second-story window.
Second story. Yep.
So what are your thoughts on that?
This is funny, and this is fucking hilarious. And I mean, she was laughing herself, going, "Holy shit!" I understand. I mean, why the taser? Why did it tase him?
Well, I mean, different policies and things like that from someone running or something like that. Every policy is different. a bunch of agencies have different policies. There are agencies that have policies where you can you can tase someone just based off of mere non-compliance. So they're non-compliant, they don't want to comply, fuck it, tase them. And that's like, okay, so the federal umbrella basically has baselines. You need to follow this for all 50 states, right?
Yeah.
And each state can be different. Each agency can be different. They can either be more restrictive or they can be just at that federal law, basically.
Low. Okay.
So basically that is a lot of, we used to have it in my agency, mere non-compliance, you could tase, you could pepper spray.
That's
and
crazy.
Then it went to combative, like assaultive combative, where he was going to hurt yourself, your partner, or someone else. Then you could utilize every single less than lethal weapon you have in your arsenal, but it was all in the same playing field. At one point, it was.
I understand that, and I get that, because basically you're matching. I think it's what they call, like, matching force or matching, like, threat level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a video right now going around about a woman that the two officers are in a hallway, and obviously they've been in a stand with her because one of them has a riot shield. He has a shield out.
Yeah.
And she yells some crazy cat lady shit that you can barely make out. And then she comes out like wielding a knife, and then I don't know, saying she made a beeline, but she started working.
Dumped.
Yes, they dump on her, and I'm like, wow, like, he had a shield. Why wasn't a taser deployed first? But she does have a deadly weapon in her hand,
right?
So you don't want to risk. What if she does have a deadly weapon? She is pretty only a couple steps away from striking distance, and I get that. I should
have brought that video. I was contemplating bringing that video.
I'm gonna go on the record by saying I don't agree with tasing somebody as they're running. I've seen too many the injuries. There's famous one guy's running away from the cop, and the cop tases him in the back, and he goes stiff and fucks his face up, and people are like, well, he shouldn't have ran from him. I'm like, well, running from him doesn't deserve breaking the fucking orbital bone, and that's how you chose to stop him. There
was one just recently where the guy was running from cops, he got tased, and he fell and hit his head on a curb and died.
Again, you can't be like, oh, it's within, the investigation said, well, he's within policy to do that. I'm like, it cost the person his life.
It's probably going to change policy, because in New York, there was a guy standing on top of like a fucking one of those like mail things, and they tased him off an elevated platform. He fell off and hit his head and he died. So that changed policy fucking countrywide. Do not tase people on an elevated platform.
Right.
Technically, this is a second story. It's not an elevated platform because you are inside and there's a window.
Yeah. I mean,
that cop could not have.
No.
I mean,
no one in their right mind is going to think he's going to go out the window.
Right. No one in their right mind. However, the guy did just jump out of another window, and that happened. But I'll tell you this: if their policy is really loose, the tasing would have been just fine within policy. If he decides to jump out a fucking window as he's getting tased, that's not on the officers. Technically, it's on him. I think right here, I don't think the officers did anything wrong. I think they're in a foot pursuit, chasing him. They're trying to apprehend the suspect, and they tased him before he was even making a motion towards the window. And then as he got tased, he decided to go fucking hit the window with his head and fell out of the window, because as we know, when you get tased, there's this thing called NMI. It's neuromuscular incapacitation.
Right.
When you get hit, if it works right, your whole body fucking locks. If you get the right spread, your whole body locks and you can't move, and you will fall over.
Well, I think if I remember correctly from the video, I think he checked the other door, and that was like his way out.
You know, he got tased, and he's like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm out." I think he was already in the process of. I don't think maybe the second barb didn't go in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it seems to me like the taser wasn't the reason why he went out the window. That's what it looks like to me.
Right.
It doesn't look like the taser was the reason why he went out the window. I personally speaking, I don't agree with using a taser to end a foot chase.
Right. I mean, there definitely could have been other preventable means. Okay, you could have tackled him. It didn't look like he had weapons. You could have tackled him and just fucking ran up. But the officer was probably like, I'm fucking done chasing this motherfucker. I'm gonna chase him because I have a good shot, which is completely okay. Like, if you're fine, like, I'm fucking done. Like, he's cornered. He's not listening. Non-compliance. Our policy says non-compliance. Fuck it. I'm gonna tase him. And then he decides to jump out the window. They're fine. If their policy is strict, like my policy was, where it was you have to have someone who poses an immediate threat to yourself officers or the like civilians, and is aggressive and combative and all these other things. You have to make sure you get this big fucking umbrella. We would get fucked. We would get fucked because he didn't get into a fighting stance. He wasn't anything like that. So it depends on their policy. So I can't speak on their policy, but just knowing that a lot of policies in the country are mere non-compliance, and if that's the case, they're going to be covered and fined, because it wasn't like he was jumping out the window and they tased him.
Right.
But if he's going to jump out the fucking window, he's going to jump out the fucking window. You know what I mean? Like,
and obviously he was going to jump out the window. So that's
right.
Yeah.
And if I'm looking at it from a training perspective, I would look at him like, look, dude, you didn't have to tase him. The door was fucking locked. He had nowhere to go. You could have fucking tackled him right then and there. You would have gotten to a use of force. You probably had to put some hands on. Is what it is. And it would have saved him from fucking taking a header to the ground. I don't know the suspect's outcome on this, but I can say it's pretty good. Like, he probably got pretty fucked up.
I'm sure he broke something.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen people get tased off of shit, and but they met the option for deadly force, and that's the only reason why the officers didn't get fucking take tased on the beach or fired. Because they could have shot and killed him, and they chose less than lethal, but it did fucking lock him up, and he fell on his head and went and convulsed. But that's not this. That's something that's different. This was
right.
But like, I would tell the officers, like, look, I'm going to give you training. If they were in policy, I'm like, look, I'm going to give you training. Know when to utilize certain weapon systems, especially when it comes to NMI, when neuromuscular incapacitation, because there is a window right there. So we do have to be concerned about our surroundings, just like you are when you get into officer-involved shooting. So there's that one. So I don't think that the officers are going to get fired or, brought up on charges. But I do
probably
think
not.
You should maybe notice your surroundings. And we're not doing these debriefs to pick on officers or be like, you fucked up here. But it is kind of like, hey, you fucked up a little bit and learn from it. And that's why we do these, is because there are going to be people from different policies and different agencies, or to have different agencies and different policies within those agencies. And you might have mere non-compliance. Well, if you have mere non-compliance, just because you can utilize something doesn't mean you should utilize something.
Fair.
Right. So you got to be
next for
worried about your surroundings. So fourth, we're not going to make the fifth video, but it was just something to kind of watch. This one, I think is pretty funny, and I want to get your take on this.
Inside our vehicle, I feel threatened. You're reaching inside our...
Okay, shut up.
Please bring your supervisor now. You're reaching inside our vehicle. I feel threatened.
I am.
You're reaching inside our vehicle. I feel threatened. I feel threatened. I feel threatened. Yo, right now. Stop right now. Stop right now. Stop right now. Get off of her right now.
People don't know their rights.
Get off of her. Get off of her right now.
It's okay. I have a
Get off of her right. Let her go. Let her go right now.
I hope they're not blaming her for this, because obviously he's holding on to her. She's like, hey, let go.
I have a free schedule. What am I gonna do?
Follow what I'm saying.
Step out of the
They
car.
have no jurisdiction over you. She is not a United States citizen. They have no jurisdiction.
Oh.
You are going to get fired from your job, and she's going to get $250,000 for winning in court. I will see you in court. I will see you in court. I will see you in court. Hey, if you want to play, guess what?
Watch.
I'll see you in court.
Yeah, I mean, Terry v. Ohio.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. Oh, you are. Ceci, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you had to go through this.
He cost her
I'm
this.
so sorry, Ceci. I promise you I will get you out of court. I will get you out.
He cost her.
All you
this.
had to do was comply.
I did. I gave
No,
him my
you did
passport.
not. No, you did not.
I gave him my passport, sir.
That is not a driver's license.
Sir, you can look me up in the system and you'll find me.
Please bring your supervisor now. You're reaching.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
So I don't know what the whole stop was about.
Yeah, we need to see before, but I mean, I can tell you right now, he's telling her to come out, and I know that Terry, part of the Terry v. Ohio's, he can ask her to come out, and he has to come out. She has to come out.
Right.
She has to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think this cop did anything wrong?
No, and unfortunately, the passenger set her up for fail. It wasn't even. I don't think it was her fault. because she didn't know. Obviously, his passport. She doesn't know all the legals. Is unfortunately the passenger doesn't know the legalities of it. He thinks he knows, but the cop also, from what he said, doesn't know either. You give me a passport. You give me a passport. It's not a valid driver's license. Well, if she's from out of the country, depending on where she's from, is whether she's required to have a valid a driver's license from that country, or if the passport is enough, and international license is under the passport. So we don't know that aspect of it.
Right. If you're driving, say you're from another country, I think this was more of like a First Amendment type of thing, sovereign citizen. I don't think she was from a different country. She didn't sound like she was from a different country, and
she's from Canada.
She could have been from Canada, but in Canada you still have a driver's license. In the Europe, you still have a driver's license. In any of those places, you still have a driver's license.
She could have been from Mexico. She could have been originally from here, living in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of she could be from
So
I've Caribbean.
Right. So now I've dealt with people from different countries and they have driver's license. Right. And so they get into Iraq and I'm like, hey, do you have your driver's license? Well, I'm not from here. I'm on holiday. I'm like, okay, do you have your country's driver's license? I need to check it. Make sure you're a valid driver. Right. Because you can't be not a valid driver over there and come over here and expect to drive fucking vehicles. Right.
No, in order to rent a vehicle, you have to, but it didn't look like the Audi didn't look like it was a rental either.
No, it didn't. And so failure to provide proper identification, especially like a driver's license, things like that. If you're being asked on a traffic stop, you are detained. You are not free to go. You can't just get up and walk away. If an officer asks you, hey, give me your driver's license, give me your identification, this is the reason why I pulled you over, blah, 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 you shall comply. And if you fail to comply, I can now arrest you for failing to comply, and then I will write your ass a ticket, and then you will go before a magistrate so that you can plead your case against that magistrate, right?
As long as it's a legal traffic stop, legal and valid traffic stop.
Yes, legal valid traffic stop. But if it's a legal valid traffic stop, you're not free to go. It's a detention.
Oh no, at that point, it's detention. Yeah.
Sure, and you have to provide everything to the officer. It kind of looked like he's trying to coach her on like, okay, hey, like, you're from somewhere else. You don't have to give them anything other than your passport. And it kind of looked like she wasn't trying to give them anything, like, oh, fuck yourself type of thing. Right. Now we can only surmise on what's going on. But you said you don't think he really did anything wrong. Personally, she's not willing to comply.
Yeah, he wasn't complying. He wasn't complying. And he drug her out of the car, but you cannot argue that he took her to the ground. No, he drug her out of the car, which she did not want to come out of the car, and he gave her more than ample chances to get out of the car.
At that point, she could be like, here's my information.
He removed her from the car. She goes butt down on the ground because of how she was extracted from the car. They immediately put her up against the car, and put her in handcuffs. There was no struggle on the ground. He didn't handcuff. He could have. He could have been an asshole about it, and could have overpowered her and cuffed her on the ground and kept her on the hot ass ground. That's not what happened.
Picked her up.
That's not exactly. That's not what happened.
Yeah,
I'm going, and obviously, there's a lot of contents that we don't have. There's a lot of like, I wish I could see 5 minutes. I wish I could see 5 minutes before this.
I wish I could see the traffic stop.
Yeah,
right. But all we have is the one side.
The argument. The guy, of course, he started recording.
Right.
But at the end, if you break down just what we have here, we have a non-compliant. We have a non-compliance with a lawful order. An officer pulls you over, is 100% able to ask you immediately to get out of the car. I think that's shitty. But he can. Because here's the thing: it's like, here's why I say that, Chuck. If I'm driving down the road with you, right, and you get pulled over, I'm just a passenger, and you get pulled over, I can be asked to get out of the vehicle, and I have to comply with that. And I have to comply with that. If not, I can catch a charge for that, even though the traffic stop is not with me. The business of the traffic stop is not with me. Right?
Crazy thing in California, because that's the only thing I can talk on really, is that if you're on a traffic stop and you're not suspect to that traffic stop, like you didn't see like hiding anything or anything like that, it's just like, hey, you have a busted taillight, or you didn't fail to signal and I pulled you over, you ran a red light, and that passenger gets up out of the car, doesn't say a fucking word, and takes off. And just takes off walking out of the car.
You can't do shit
unless you have a reasonable suspicion to stop him. You can't keep that person from leaving, right?
Yeah.
But So you think a reasonable person would think that, okay, this person's not complying and they get drug out because they're not listening to the officer. You think that reasonable person would be like, okay, that guy did nothing wrong, right?
I mean, you could have suspicion, but suspicion is not a crime.
Right. So
you can think that the person does something,
right,
and the person could be doing it just to be a dick because he can. It's within the confines of the law.
Say this chick ran a red light, right?
Sure.
Or didn't fail the signal or whatever, and he pulls her over and is like, hey, the reason why I stopped you is because of X, Y, and Z. Registration, I want your registration, your license, your proof of insurance. And she goes, well, I'm not from here. Okay, cool.
Sure.
Can I have your license, the registration, proof of insurance, your license from your country? If you have a passport, I'll take the passport and the registration for the vehicle.
Right.
And the insurance.
Right.
If you have insurance, I don't have insurance, but the person that I'm driving the car with, they have insurance. Okay, I need that. Okay, here you go. That's what a normal encounter would look like. But this is like, I'm not giving you anything. I don't have to. I'm not from here. I don't need to abide by your laws. Let me tell you something. If you're coming to the United States from another country and you're planning to operate a motor vehicle in that country, you shall abide by the rules of the law, the law of the road. If you're taking that on, you shall. It is not like, oh, well, I can run red lights. I don't need to stop for this. I don't need to turn my blinker on. Well, okay, well, you're asking to get pulled over. So if you're from another country and you come here, you do need to abide by our rules of the road. That's one. Two, if you fucking run a red light or you have some sort of traffic infraction, you are now detained. You are not free to leave. You shall provide the officer with whatever information you have. If you don't have one, you could get hit with driving without a license. And it's just, it is what it is. Like, just because you're from another country, you should be able to provide your license from that country that says you're able to operate a motor vehicle, your passport and the insurance, the rental agreement, or whatever from that's inside that car, the insurance or whoever's insurance who owns the vehicle. If you're a sovereign citizen, dude, come on. Like, dude, sovereign citizens grind my gears, but you're not above the law in the United States. Like, it is what it is. Like, the court will hold you accountable for it. Like, it is what it is. So I don't think this cop did anything wrong.
No, actually, no, I don't believe so either. Looking at what little snippet we have, I'm not seeing anything wrong. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and we don't know how long the
back and forth was. We don't know how long the back and forth was, but I mean, it's long.
He had multiple officers there.
Well, he was reaching in to open the door. He had already asked her to step out.
Yeah, there was at least 3 officers there. So it had been probably going on for a while. He asked for an additional unit. They get there, so it had probably been well over 10 minutes of them going back and forth. So,
back and forth, yeah.
I mean, just because you feel like you don't need to comply with an officer's demands,
does not
detained, doesn't mean you're in the right. You don't want to. Sometimes I didn't want to, as a kid, I didn't want to eat my my green beans and fucking my food, but I still needed to do it to clean my plate.
Mm-hmm.
That was the rule of my dad, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But so yeah, those are the videos. We got another one, but we're not gonna be able to get to it. So yeah, that's it. So how'd you like the debrief? It
was cool. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for bringing me on. There was a lot of stuff that I learned. A lot of stuff that was explained.
Yeah, and I like your talking points. I like how you hit like, I don't think that the taser should have been used there. I don't think that blah blah this and that. And then I like on those last one, you're like, oh well, that chick's not complying. No, so it just goes to show that we're not on opposite sides, right? Like he sees something, I see it, and I can agree with it, right?
Right.
And the end of the day, I'm just going to hear to comment on, did they do something right? Were they in the right? Could they be held accountable later? Things like that. And that's why we do these
also public opinion versus the actual like policy and the rights of, and the legality of, it's like we may think in a public court that we won't, or the general masses that we don't like something. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not lawful or correct. Exactly. So that's another dynamic. So, but thanks, Chuck. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. And the reason why I like doing this is because you're going to have something different than I'm going to have. And if you are like, I don't think that was right but I can tell you like, look, there are training points on that, but there are reasons why that he was able to utilize this type of force, and we can explain it that way, but it doesn't mean we're all in 100% like in agreement. I would definitely give that officer training on the tasing.
Sure.
I mean, it is what it is. But we're also armchair quarterbacking it. Like,
Right,
you know,
right,
it
right,
is,
right, right.
It is what it is. But
We're
these
not
are
in the
all
middle of that
learning points.
situation.
Right.
But she laughed though.
You know-
She thought it was funny like we did.
Yeah, dude. Like,
We all thought it was just as funny
that's
as
what
she
it
did.
is.
So all right, brother. Thank you so much.
Can't help crazy, but you're welcome. I'm gonna read this real quick and
Yeah,
put
hit 'em.
this up on the screen. Bam, dude. Here we go.
Look at that. Warstoriesofficial.com. www.warstoriesofficial.com. All right.
There we go. If you want to be a guest, go to booking.warstories@gmail.com. If you want to ask questions, send us a story and contact us at mailbag.warstories@gmail.com. I want to say thank you, everyone, for listening today. Thank you, Marco, for coming on and assisting me.
Thanks for having me.
Debrief. You're welcome, buddy. If you like today's podcast and the content we provide, please help us out by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or really whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. You can help us out by going to our Instagram and our Facebook. Our Instagram is at war_stories_official, and our Facebook is at War Stories Podcast. You can hit the link in the bio on both, hit all of our socials, hit our YouTube, hit our podcast, hit our website. And our website is www.warstoriesofficial.com. You can grab some gear there. We still have some stuff available. And like you can see the banner on the bottom of the screen, but from those of you who are not listening or not watching and just listening, if you want to be featured on the show or you think you have a story you want to email us, go to booking.warstories@gmail.com and I can get you booked. We're always looking for veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, medics, but also corrections officers, dispatchers, and nurses. And if you have a friend you think would be a great fit, again, send us their info at booking.warstories@gmail.com. Link us up. Tell them about us. Link us up so we're not just cold calling. And link us up and introduce us, and we can get the conversation started. And if you just have a story that you want to share, but you don't want to be featured, you want to do it anonymously, and you want it written on or read on the show, write us a message and go to booking.warstories@gmail.com, and we'll read it aloud on the show because we think those are awesome. So if you have that, let us know. And I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for the support. Stay safe. And as always, come home with your shield or on it.